Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Day546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so first off, pay no attention to Brian Dable. Listen, people have been commenting, take the Bills logo, Brian Dable, off of your video. And I literally just noticed like 2 days ago that was literally Bills Brian Dable. So in OBS, I just dragged the New York Giants symbol over top of it, and I'll eventually fix it. I did not realize that was Bills Brian Dable. But anyway, to the task at hand, I wanted to just give my whole overview of the draft, all of our picks. Just for reference, I'm just gonna pull all of our picks up to make sure I got everybody. But I uploaded individual videos for every pick, um, pretty much every pick, all the way up to the fourth round. I'm pretty sure. I think the last one I actually uploaded was Cordell Flott. My reactions to Dan Bellinger and Dane Belton are on my live stream, but I never uploaded the video, even though I clipped it for some reason. But I'll go ahead and I'll just run through pick by pick. Let's go ahead and run through. First off, Kayvon Thibodeaux, absolute home run. I would have traded multiple picks, not at future first, but I would have traded picks to try to trade up to get this guy if I thought that we would be able to get him. I mean, during the season, I believe that Kayvon Thibodeaux was probably going to go first overall. I was saying since we won these last couple of games and we won a couple of games last year, I was thinking we just weren't going to be able to get him. And I was kind of annoyed that we lost all those games and we had to watch Jake Fromm and we weren't going to get Kayvon Thibodeaux. And rumors come out about him not liking football, about him thinking he's too good for coaches, about all these things that I just don't believe to be true, especially after I've seen him talk and the way he talks about football and how serious he looks. He falls all the way from 1 to 5, especially, Michigan. The Michigan kid, Aiden Hutchinson, is stepping up and having crazy games and is getting good with his hands and is showing off some athleticism too. It really made Kayvon Thibodeaux drop. And the number one domino was the Trayvon Walker pick. That was it. So Kayvon Thibodeaux falls all the way to us at number 5. Of course, I was completely ecstatic. So I'm really excited that happened. Really excited that happened. I think he's going to be a future double-digit sack guy on a year-to-year basis. So home run pick. Second pick of the first round. I don't want to go too over because, guys, you can definitely go back for these first couple of picks. You can definitely go back and look on my channel and look at my live reaction. But Evan Neal, another really, really A-plus pick. I think he's the best tackle in the draft. Charles Cross is the best pass protector. Iquanu could be considered the best run guy with the highest ceiling. But Evan Neal has that super high ceiling. He's 6'7", 340, and he looks like he's about 300 pounds. I mean, he carries the weight well. He's light on his feet. He's strong. He's a mauler, and he's light on his feet. He had great pass protection, even though it's not as good as Charles Cross, but great pass protection with obviously the opportunity to get better and then dominate in the run game. The only thing with Evan Neal is that he lost his balance way too much, but he lost some weight, and I think that's going to help a lot with his balance. And him and Kayvon Thibodeaux back-to-back was just a game changer. And just off of those two picks, I will go ahead and say that I would have traded 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all of those picks, if I could guarantee me 2 months ago that I would get Kayvon Thibodeaux and Evan Neal. I would have traded the rest of the draft away. People might call me crazy for that, but I would have honestly traded the rest of the draft away. So really excited with those picks. Moving on to Wan'Dale Robinson, that was the first pick where I was like, I don't know. But Wan'Dale Robinson is, of course, somebody that we all know, or anybody that watches college football to any extent knows who Wan'Dale Robinson is. Really shifty, reminds me a lot of Kadarius Toney, has a lot of those times where he catches the ball, makes somebody miss that he has no business making miss, and just makes a ton of plays out of nothing. I think that's exactly what we need. We need playmakers. And yes, he's redundant with Kadarius Toney. Yes, I would have rather had George Pickens. I would have even rather had Christian Watson. One of those big guys, one of the guys who can maybe run routes like Christian Watson, and a deep threat with some height. But Wan'dale Robinson, he's going to make plays. And I can't be mad at that. I'm sure they have a game plan for him. So a little bit higher than what I thought. We traded back twice, which ended up getting us some more picks. So a little bit higher again than what I thought, but I can live with the pick. The next pick, Joshua Azudu. When I reacted to this pick, I had no idea who he was. I wasn't going to bash him because people love to bash people who they don't have any idea who they are and how good they are. When I looked at the tape, and I've been looking at his tape the last 2 or 3 days, really decent looking player to me, especially in the third round. I think he's a starting level guard. Really light feet, needs to work on his hands a lot, but really, really light feet. A lot of times he'll get beat. His feet are fast enough to recover and continue to pass protect. I think he's going to be really good with pass protection at the next level. The only thing is he's going to have to work on where his hand placement, his punch. He's just going to have to work on all of the things, considering having to do with his hands. But other than that, Azudu was a really good pick, better than what I thought because I had no idea who he was. Moving on to Cordell Flott. As an LSU fan, I made a whole film breakdown on Cordell Flott. I go into detail. I think he'll play corner. I think he'll play safety. I think he'll play a little bit of nickel backer. Can do everything under the sun. He can blitz. He can cover. He can play man. He can play zone. He can play press. He can play off. 6'1" slot corner. He can guard the bigger slot receivers, the smaller slot receivers. Only thing is his skill set lends to be a guy that can cover tight ends, but he's about 175 pounds, 180 probably when he gets, to actually playing in the NFL. So that's a lot smaller than most of these tight ends. So we'll see where he gets deployed at the most, but I think it's a really good pick. You can never have too many corners, and I think that's right around where value should go second half of the third round. Daniel Bellinger, another good value pick, a guy that can block, a guy that can catch, a guy that can do a little bit after the catch. Not really a wiggly guy, but he can break tackles. He's not stiff. He's not, he's not Travis Kelce by any means, which some people try to compare him to. But he's also not just the guy who just catches the ball, takes 2 steps, and falls down because he can't move without tripping over his own feet. He's also a guy that can be a red zone threat. So I really like Dan Bellinger. I think he'll be our starting tight end. And we'll roll from there. He should be here for the next 4 years. Hopefully he becomes the next Dawson Knox. Dane Belton was the pick I did not really like that much. I thought we already kind of have what he is. I think that I really wanted a guy that could really play deep free safety and the box. He looks like a guy that can really play in the box, and he does not look as good in coverage as I would want him to be. A lot of big hits, but I really would have liked to go Brandon Smith right there. I think that's why I really don't like the pick, because Brandon Smith was there for the taking, and we didn't take him. So that's my take on Dane Belton. Not too much. It's just I think he's more of a small linebacker when it all gets boiled down, and I just don't think he'll end up making that much of an impact on the Giants. Micah McFadden, by the way, after that, in round 5, I really like that pick. He flies all over the field. He's sideline to sideline. He looks really natural in coverage. Does a good job dropping back, flipping his hips, doing his thing in coverage. Also, really short tackler, is all over the field. The numbers, the athletic testing probably don't say much, but on the field, that dude is all over the place. He might push for some reps in the starting lineup. Reminds me a lot of how I thought of Ryan Connolly before he ended up playing for the Giants. And we all know he looked really good before he ended up tearing his ACL and his career kind of, fizzled out. DJ Davidson, a big guy who's going to be either our starting nose tackle or our backup nose tackle, but he's going to play nose. He's going to play nose. He's a big guy. He actually has some times where he'll penetrate and come through the line, but for the most part, he'll just be in that middle of the defense. Hopefully, that's our nose tackle of the future, and we don't have to worry about that position for the next 4 years. Marcuskeith, a teammate of not Dane Belton, a teammate of Josh Azudu, and he's just a really big guy, 6'7", 360 pounds, really huge person. He's probably a developmental guy. He's played tackle and he's played guard. Definitely going to play guard for us, but the guy's 6'7", 6'8", So if we move on from a guy like Daniel Jones and we pick a guy who's like 6'1" or 6 feet like Bryce Young, he's not going to be able to see over that dude. It's just he's not going to be able to see over a guard that big. But developmental guy, huge person, and you can't go wrong with picking that guy at the end of the 5th round, the second half of the 5th round. And then the last pick, Darian Beavers, probably the biggest sleeper pick of this draft. A guy that probably may push for some starting reps at linebacker because he can play outside linebacker in the 3-4. He could play strong side in the 4-3. He can play inside. I don't know if he'll be the best in coverage, but you can blitz this guy on 3rd downs. You can line him up as an edge rusher on 3rd downs. So he adds depth to the edge room and he adds depth to linebacker. And we got him in the 6th round, and I like him probably better than all of the players since Dan Bellinger that we took in the 4th round. So that is a quick recap of the draft class. I will have individual videos coming out about these guys a lot more in depth on what I think their roles are, what I think they'll add, what I think they'll contribute, how quickly they'll contribute. So you guys go ahead and drop down in the comments who you think is going to make the biggest impact of the guys drafted after Josh Azudu. So Cordell Flott, Dan Bellinger, Dane Belton. Just go ahead and drop who you think will make the biggest impact, who you think you'll be the most excited about. And until then, have a great rest of your day. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.